Hello friends, place 1 pork loin, about 3 pounds or 1.3 kilograms. Take a paper towel and pat it dry from all sides. Now, take a sharp knife and start by making small, even cuts across the pork, about halfway through, along the entire length of the piece, just as I show in the video. These little cuts help the seasonings soak in deeper and make the meat more tender. Friends, it warms my heart to see where you're from. Share your country and city, and if you're in the US, let me know your state. Once you've done that, carefully slice the pork lengthwise, opening it up like a book. Take your time here. Smooth, steady movements are all you need. The goal is to create a nice, even surface so the filling spreads easily later. Then cover it with plastic wrap. Gently pound it with a meat mallet. We're not flattening it, just softening the fibers so the meat stays tender and cooks evenly. If you have any questions about the recipes, leave them in the comments and I'll respond as soon as I notice them. In a small bowl, mix together 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of dried garlic, and 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. If you liked the video, feel free to give it a like. Your support is always welcome. Sprinkle the mixture evenly over the pork. These simple spices will bring out the natural flavor of the meat and fill your kitchen with that warm, savory scent. Use your hands to rub it in. I always think this part feels a little magical. The way the aroma lifts as the spices meet the warmth of your hands. Now, fold the meat in half. Sprinkle a little salt on both sides. Friends, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more recipes like this one. Cover with plastic wrap and let it rest in the refrigerator while we prepare the filling. Meanwhile, let's start on something wonderful for the filling. Take 2 white onions and slice them into thin half rings. I always love this part. The gentle rhythm of slicing onions feels almost meditative, doesn't it? Onions don't just bring that deep sweet flavor to a dish. They're also full of antioxidants that help boost our immune system, something our mothers and grandmothers somehow always knew without reading a single study. Try to keep your slices even so they cook beautifully later. Now, heat a pan over medium heat and pour in just a little vegetable oil, about 1 tablespoon, just enough to coat the bottom. Then add half a stick, or about 30 grams, of butter. As the butter melts together with the oil, it starts to foam and turn golden at the edges, filling the kitchen with that cozy, rich smell that always means something delicious is on its way. Add the onions and stir now and then so they soften evenly. After about 5 minutes, sprinkle in 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar. And 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Cook until the onions turn soft and sweet, like melted sunshine in the pan. The sugar helps them caramelize, while the soy sauce adds depth and that pretty golden color. When the onions are beautifully caramelized and their color deepens to honey gold, turn off the heat and set the pan aside. Then slice about 9 ounces or 250 grams of mushrooms. I love this part. The earthy smell of fresh mushrooms always reminds me of crisp fall walks and cozy family dinners, when the days grew shorter and the kitchen felt extra warm. Try to keep the slices even so they cook nicely as you cut. You can already imagine how beautifully these mushrooms will soak up the butter and seasonings later, adding that deep, comforting flavor that makes every bite feel like home. Heat a little vegetable oil in a pan. Add the mushrooms. Stir them around. Then sprinkle a pinch of salt. And pepper. And let them cook. At first, they'll release some water. That's perfectly fine. Just let it evaporate, and soon they'll turn golden and aromatic. Once they reach that perfect color, turn off the heat and set the pan aside. Finely chop a bunch of fresh parsley. Its bright color and light herbal flavor will bring freshness to the dish, and it's great for digestion too. Then grate about 5 ounces or 150 grams of Emmental cheese, or any cheese that melts nicely and has that gentle, nutty flavor your family loves. As you grate, the aroma is so comforting, rich, creamy, and a little sweet. It already makes you think of how delicious the final dish will be. Now take the pork out of the refrigerator and unfold it on your board. Spread the caramelized onions evenly over the pork, leaving a small border around the edges so the filling doesn't spill out as we roll it later. Next, scatter the grated cheese over the onions. It will melt into all those little layers, holding everything together. Then add the golden mushrooms on top, their rich aroma blending beautifully with the sweet onions and creamy cheese. And finally, scatter the chopped parsley on top. The colors look so cheerful together. It's like layering flavor and comfort in one place. Gently roll the pork, just as I show in the video. Don't rush this part. Take your time to keep the roll tight, but not too tight. Secure it with kitchen string or toothpicks to hold its shape. Line your baking dish with foil. Place a sheet of parchment paper on top. Lightly dampen the parchment with water. This little trick keeps the meat juicy as it cooks. Place your pork roll on top and drape 7 ounces or 200 grams of smoked bacon across it, overlapping each strip slightly. The bacon keeps the roll moist and adds that smoky aroma we all love. Wrap the roll first in the parchment. Then in foil, sealing it tightly to hold in all those wonderful juices. Bake in a preheated oven at 400 degrees or 200 degrees for 1 hour. While it bakes, let's make a simple glaze that will give our pork that perfect finish. In a small bowl, whisk together 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and 1 teaspoon of chili sauce. The combination adds a glossy shine, a touch of spice, and a hint of tanginess that balances the rich flavors beautifully. After an hour, take the roll out of the oven and carefully unwrap it. The smell will make your kitchen feel like a Sunday feast. Brush the glaze all over the top. Don't be shy, let it soak in. Place the roll back in the oven, uncovered, and bake for another 10 to 15 minutes until the bacon turns crispy and golden brown. Once it's ready, take it out of the oven. Now it's time to serve. Slice the roll into thick, beautiful rounds. You'll see the layers inside: soft, caramelized onions, melted cheese, and golden mushrooms, all wrapped in smoky bacon. It's rich, colorful, and smells incredible. Serve 2 or 3 slices. This dish has everything: protein, comfort, and the warmth of a homemade meal made with love. I hope you try this recipe and share it with your loved ones. It fills the kitchen with warmth and turns an ordinary dinner into something special. Thank you for cooking with me today, but don't go just yet. There's another cozy and tasty recipe I'd love to share with you. Pour a little olive oil into a large frying pan and let it shimmer. Drop in half a stick or 60 grams of butter and let it melt slowly into the oil. It starts to bubble softly, turning the pan into a pool of gold. The air fills with that rich, nutty aroma that feels like a quiet promise of something delicious on the way. Now take 6 to 8 chicken thighs. Sprinkle them lightly with salt, just enough to wake up their natural flavor. Then, one by one, place the pieces into the hot pan. As soon as they touch the butter, that joyful sizzle fills the air. A sound that never gets old. It's the moment when you know something wonderful is happening. Let the chicken cook for about 3 minutes on each side, turning gently with tongs until it's beautifully golden and crisp on the outside, juicy within. Move the pieces onto a plate and let them rest while we build the flavors underneath. Take 3 or 4 large potatoes and cut them into even slices. There's something timeless about potatoes, the kind of ingredient that feels like home no matter where you are. Hearty, honest, and comforting, they soak up flavor like they were made for it. Add them to the same pan, letting them sizzle in all that butter and chicken drippings, stirring so every slice glistens. Next, slice 1 onion into half rings. The layers fall apart in your hands. Soft, papery, familiar. There's something so grounding about this simple motion. The gentle crackle of the peel, the cool smoothness beneath your fingers, the steady tap-tap of the knife on the board. The rhythm of chopping onions always slows the world down a little, like a quiet ritual that connects you to every cook who's ever stood at a kitchen counter before. Add them to the pan, and as they soften, that gentle sweetness begins to fill the air. It's the smell of evening kitchens everywhere. Warm, welcoming, full of memory. Now take 2 cloves of garlic and grate them on a mini grater. Garlic always brings a spark, bold, fragrant, alive. It's that comforting smell that says, dinner's almost ready. And just like our grandmothers always believed, it's as good for the heart as it is for the soul. Add it to the pan, give it a stir, and let the aroma bloom. Now, cut 2 carrots into thin rings. Their bright orange color instantly wakes up the cutting board, like little bursts of sunshine scattered across it. As the knife moves, you can almost smell that faint, earthy sweetness that reminds you of gardens after rain. Carrots don't just add color, they're full of beta-carotene. That's what gives them their glow, turning into vitamin A to keep our eyes sharp and our hearts strong. Add to the pan and let their color deepen as they mingle with the onions and potatoes. Quarter 7 or 8 mushrooms. They'll give that deep, earthy richness that always reminds me of cool fall days, when you'd come back from a long walk and the whole house smelled like something hearty in the oven. Add them next. Season everything with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of paprika. Stir gently so the spices coat every vegetable, turning them a lovely golden red. Finally, chop a handful of fresh parsley and sprinkle it over the top. It adds brightness and a touch of freshness, and it's full of vitamins that keep the heart happy and digestion easy. The green against the warm tones of the vegetables looks like a little garden in your pan. Let everything cook together for another 5 to 7 minutes. Then take the pan off the heat. Lightly brush a baking dish with olive oil. Spread the vegetables evenly across the bottom. Then tuck the chicken thighs on top. For the glaze, whisk together 2 tablespoons of honey, 5 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of mustard, 1 teaspoon of paprika. Mix it well. Brush the sauce generously over the chicken. That sweet, salty mix will caramelize beautifully in the oven. This recipe comes from my grandmother, who always said the best dishes were the ones made with love and patience. Bake it all at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius for about 25 minutes. While it bakes, let's make something fresh to go alongside. Chop a couple of handfuls of fresh, peppery arugula. It has that lively bite that instantly wakes up any plate. Bold, green, and full of character. Arugula isn't just flavorful, it's bursting with vitamins A and C, wonderful for keeping your immune system strong and your skin glowing. Add the arugula to a large bowl. It'll be the bright, leafy base of our salad. Next, take a red bell pepper. Slice it open, and you'll see that glossy red skin and the crisp, juicy flesh inside. Such a cheerful sight. Red peppers are rich in antioxidants and vitamin C, bringing color, crunch, and natural sweetness. As you dice it, the scent is almost fruity, reminding me of summer gardens and afternoons spent picking vegetables straight off the vine. Add those bright red cubes to the bowl. Now, slice a cucumber into half moons. The knife glides through so easily, releasing that clean, cool aroma, like a breath of fresh air in the kitchen. Cucumbers are light, hydrating, and full of minerals that help keep you refreshed. Their crunch gives the salad life and texture. Add the slices to the bowl, where they sparkle against the green and red like little glassy gems. Next, take a ripe tomato and cut it into thin strips. Its deep red color, the way it glistens with juice, always feels like the essence of summer. Tomatoes bring that gentle sweetness and acidity that tie everything together, and they're full of lycopene, wonderful for the heart. add the strips to the bowl, letting them mingle with the arugula and peppers. Now, slice an avocado in half. Dice it into soft, creamy cubes. That rich green flesh is full of healthy fats that nourish the body and keep us feeling satisfied. Avocado gives the salad a silky texture. It's what makes every bite feel so complete. As you add it to the bowl, those gentle green pieces soften the whole look of the salad, adding a touch of calm to all the brightness. Finally, tear some fresh mozzarella into small pieces with your hands, just like my grandmother used to when she made salads for Sunday dinners. For the dressing, whisk together 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of mustard, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Mix it well. Then pour it over the salad and toss it gently, just enough to coat without bruising the greens. Carefully take the chicken out of the oven. The glaze caramelized, the vegetables soft and glistening, the aroma filling every corner of the kitchen. Serve one of those golden, glossy thighs. With a scoop of the buttery potatoes and carrots. And finish the plate with a spoonful of that fresh, colorful salad. And there you have it, juicy chicken with crisp skin, vegetables roasted to sweetness, and a salad that adds freshness and light. It's a meal that feels both comforting and special, the kind that brings everyone to the table. I hope it fills your kitchen with the same warmth and happiness it always brings to mine. Thank you for cooking with me today. Until next time, happy cooking!